The Ghost in the Machine. By J.W. Steele. Cyrus Kane had lived a good life. Or at least, that's what he told himself. His apartment overlooked a city that pulsed with neon arteries, its glass towers stretching like fingers clawing toward the heavens. The streets hummed with people moving in choreographed perfection, no crime, no suffering, no unpredictability. It was paradise. Yet something gnawed at the edges of his mind. A whisper of doubt, a persistent flicker in the seamless perfection of his world. He had never felt pain. Not a single ache in all his years. Never a scraped knee, never a paper cut. He tried, once, slicing the palm of his hand with a kitchen knife. The blade passed through his flesh as if he were slicing air. The wound sealed in an instant. He held his hand up to the telescreen. "You are healthy," the city AI had chimed, its voice soft, motherly. Healthy. Indestructible. Unreal. And no pain. Strange. Very strange. That was when he first understood that he wasn't alive. He only thought he was. But this idea was unacceptable. To think you are alive is not as inspiring as to know you are alive, and Cyrus wanted to know beyond a molecule of doubt that he was more than an illusion. So, he set out to find the truth. He walked for miles through the city, past towering billboards that smiled at him with unsettling familiarity. Every face seemed vaguely recognizable, like actors in a play he had forgotten he was performing in. One evening, he approached an old man sitting on a bench, feeding pigeons. "Excuse me, friend, but I must ask you. Have you ever felt pain?" The man chuckled. "Pain? Ah, now that's a strange thing to miss. But have you felt it?" The old man turned, his eyes penetrating. "We don't feel pain here, son. We don't bleed, and we don't die. What does that tell you?" Cyrus swallowed hard. "It tells me that this place isn't real." The old man smiled, patted his hand. "Then why fight it?" Cyrus walked away, unsettled. But that uncertainty in his mind continued to torment him, and he could not sleep. So every night around midnight he would go for his walk. One night, he met a woman in a rain-soaked alley, her dress shimmering like liquid mercury. "You see it, don't you?" she whispered, stepping closer. "The seams. The glitches." Cyrus tensed. "What are you talking about?" Her lips curled into a knowing smile. "The world resets every morning at 4:03 a.m. Watch the sky. It flickers for exactly 1 second. The program reboots. Everything you did yesterday? Wiped. We're ghosts living in a rerun." Cyrus felt a cold shudder crawl down his spine. She leaned in, whispering against his ear. "The truth is a door, Cyrus. But once you open it, you can't go back." She handed him a slip of paper, and laughed. "Coordinates," she said. And then, just as quickly as she had appeared, she was gone. The graphic led him to a building unlike any other in the city, a rusted relic amid gleaming steel towers. Its doors groaned as he stepped inside. At the center of the room stood a machine, its screen pulsing like a beating heart. A message blinked. User 672, Cyrus Kane. Date of death, October 19, 2124. Current year, 2224. Cyrus staggered backward. He had died 100 years ago. His hands trembled as the screen continued. Final consciousness. Upload, approved. Program, afterlife. Status, running. He exhaled sharply. The woman had been right. He was a memory loop, a digitized ghost in an artificial heaven. A soft chime echoed in the chamber. "Would you like to log out?" There were only 2 responses. Yes or no. His finger hovered over the screen. To log out was to vanish. To end the illusion. He looked around at the city he had known, the people he had walked beside, the places he had called home. They weren't real. But neither was the suffering, the loneliness, the cruelty of the world he had left behind. He smiled. And pressed, "No." The machine purred. The city hummed. And Cyrus Kane walked back into his dream, where the sky was always clear, the streets were always clean, and the past was a story no one needed to remember. He wandered alone down the avenue into the wee hours of the night. As the clock struck 4:03 a.m., the sky flickered. The world reset. And Cyrus Kane, knowing the truth, embraced the lie, and smiled.